Hello guys, welcome to this episode on Mickey News Football Hub, and here we'll be talking about the recap of the World Cup 2026 World Cup round of 16 and equally the predictions of the quarterfinals. If you're coming across this channel for the very first time, please don't forget to follow us and hit the notification bell so that you will always get our videos once we drop our videos. And equally, don't forget to engage on this video. So, firstly, you have the Paraguay um, France game that was so dramatic, and eventually France found a way to win on with a penalty goal that Kylian Mbappe scored. That game generated a whole lot of controversies from the way that the Paraguayans played in the game, the physicality they put up in the game, and equally out of the pitch with the racism, with the racist chant or racist target on Kylian Mbappe by the senator from Paraguay, the lady. And after that, you have the Morocco Canada game. Morocco defeated Canada. I think it was 3 goals to 0. A very emphatic victory that every one of us expected to happen because Morocco are a very strong team and they have shown again that they are at this World Cup on a mission. So although their only bad luck right now is that they are playing France next in the quarterfinals. So away from that, you have the Spain-Portugal game. The Spain-Portugal game that dragged up at 90 plus when Mikel Merino stepped off the bench to score the only goal of the game. It was the game that saw Cristiano Ronaldo ending his World Cup career without winning a World Cup title, and equally seeing Portugal crashing out in a very disastrous manner. The Portugal led by Roberto Martinez and their very shambolic performances throughout the World Cup campaign. And next, you have the USA and the Belgium game. This game had a lot of controversies from the red card of Folarin Balogun being called off by Infantino, the president of FIFA, to the game itself. And the game ended in an emphatic victory for Belgium with a 4-1 victory over USA, which was deserved, and equally it showed that at the end of the day that justice must be served in one way or the other. And after the game, I loved the Folarin Balogun's gesture of going to Rudi Garcia, who is the coach of Belgium, to speak to him about the whole incident, that it's not his fault. He was called to come to office and he had to come. Then away from that, you have the Brazil-Norway game. That was a very, should I say, it was a very surprising victory for Norway because for some reason most of us thought that Brazil were going to beat Norway in this game, but they didn't even see anything. They didn't even see one goal. So Norway defeated them in an emphatic victory, and Erling Haaland announced himself again with 2 goals in the game to dump Brazil, the 5-time World Cup champions, out of the World Cup. Then you have the Mexico-England. This should be the biggest and the best game of the round of 16, with the 3-2 victory for England. Not just the 3-2 victory, with the red card that England had to play with. Kwanzaa got a red card early on in the second half, and they had to play with 10 men until the end of the game. They even scored their top goal, which was a penalty, when they were 1 man down. And the Mexicans tried, but the resilience of the Englishmen held them and pulled them through the game to see the quarterfinals of the game. Then you have Argentina and Egypt. This is one of the most controversial games at this World Cup so far, with a goal being ruled out for Egypt for a foul in the build-up to the goal, and another goal being accepted, not being ruled out, not even being reviewed by VAR after a foul on Mo Salah right in the box of the Argentines. Not just that, there was equally another foul right inside the box before the Mo Salah foul, and then the winning goal came out. A very controversial game. A whole lot of people came up with a whole lot of opinions, both the coach of the Egyptians, both Mo Salah, even Zico, everyone, because it was painful. Even as a spectator, you should be pained by what happened, by the injustice that happened in that game. Then after that, you have the last game of the round of 16, Switzerland, Colombia, that played out in a goalless draw until the extra time, and Switzerland progressed via penalty shootout to set up a quarterfinal meeting with Argentina. So these are the recap of the round of 16. Now the predictions of the quarterfinals. The first quarterfinal game is France-Morocco, and these two teams are a very strong team. And they met last year, I think. Yes, they met last World Cup. I think either in the semifinals or so. They met in the semifinals, and France defeated them. And from then till now, Morocco has even become stronger. Morocco are stronger than they were 4 years ago. And now coming into this game, a lot is at risk. A lot is at stake. France are the clear favorites to winning the World Cup. Maybe France and defending champions Argentina. Although some of Argentina's performances, you would look at it and say, oh, if one thing happened, they might even be eliminated. But France are a team that are giving you full performances and full assurance that yes, we can win this World Cup again. So I'm looking at France and believing that they're going to beat this Moroccan team. In as much as it's going to be difficult, because Morocco can be a very good defensive side and hit you on counter attack. Look at their game against Canada. They scored a couple of goals from counter attack. Even that their last goal, it was from counter attacking situation. So they are a good counter attacking team and they have good defensive structure. So they can actually come into the game and try to hurt France. But I'm believing that with the experience and everything that France has and the superior attacking outlet that France has, they are going to use it to their advantage and defeat Morocco in this one. Then the second game, you have the Spain and the Belgium game, two European teams. I'm seeing Spain as the more superior team there. Even the supercomputer that have been predicting the winners of the World Cup predicted Spain to win this World Cup. So I'm not backing them to win the World Cup either, but I'm backing them to progress through these quarterfinals. And Belgium, on the other hand, for some reason, they started performing after the group stages or the last game of the group stage. Because in the last game of the group stage, they played 5-1, I think 5-1 or 4-1 against New Zealand. Then in the next one against Senegal, they came back from 2 goals and defeated Senegal 3-2. Then in their round of 16 game against USA, they dispatched USA 4-1. So I'm seeing Belgium not even with their late resurgence at the World Cup so far. I'm not seeing them as a stronger opponent to defeat Spain. Spain are the only team that are with 100% clean sheet so far at the World Cup. 5 games, 5 clean sheets. So it's always difficult to score against this Spanish team. So let's see if Belgium can break that jinx and score against Spain. But I'm predicting Spain to defeat Belgium at least 3 goals to 0 in this one. Then the other one, the Norway English team, the Norway and England game. In as much as Norway has had a sort of a dark horse run at this World Cup. Yes, I will call them a dark horse run because the last time Norway played at the World Cup was, I think, 28 years ago or even more. So for them to come into this World Cup and be performing the way they are performing, I think they deserve that dark horse title. And if you look at other things, maybe Switzerland are still there to look at as dark horses. But these Norwegian guys are, for me, the dark horses of this World Cup so far. So I'm predicting them to give England a run for their money in this game, to give England a tough time. Erling Haaland try to do what he does best, try to score goals, and these English defenders are defenders that he knows. They are defenders that he has been playing against every week in the Premier League. So I don't expect them to be a tough game for him on that defensive point of view. But for English side, I think the England has a better team. They have a better squad and a better team compared to Norway, and they have a good attacking output. With Bellingham leading their push to the World Cup finals. I think looking at England, their best player so far at this World Cup has been Bellingham. He has been everything. Defensively, he's there. In attacking, he's there. He's everywhere trying to make sure that England don't get eliminated easily. Look at their last game against Mexico that he scored 2 goals in 90 seconds. So amazing. I think that was his fourth goal. Those were his fourth goal in the World Cup so far. So I'm still predicting England to get a win over Norway because they have a far superior team and a more experienced team, even a more experienced manager. So I expect England to win Norway at least 2 goals to 1 in this one. Then the last game of the quarterfinals, the Argentina versus the Switzerland game. Switzerland can be a they can be a landmine. Yes, they can be a landmine because the way they play football, you might think that, oh, these guys, they don't have anything to offer. But when you go again and look at Colombia, look at the way they played against Colombia. Contain Colombia, that attack of Luis Diaz, James Rodriguez, Luis Suarez, even John Arias, all of them, they contain them. They contain them. Even the only problem that I saw in that Switzerland team is they are almost impotent in front of goal. They will play everything. Then when they get in front of goal, you will be looking at them and be marveling and be asking yourself, are these players the players that played all these things in this build up to get to this extent? They just waste their chances. So I'm expecting Switzerland to give Argentina a run for their money because looking at Argentina in the last two games against Cape Verde, they showed that you can score them a couple of goals. Against Egypt again, they have shown that you can score them a couple of goals. The only question is, after scoring them a couple of goals, can you maintain the lead? Can you be strong defensively? That is just the question. So if you can be strong defensively, you can get a couple of goals against Argentina and defeat them. But Argentina, on the other hand, they have that Messi factor. They have a good quality attackers. They have quality players all around the pitch. So they are going to most definitely beat these Switzerland guys. But if the other way, if it goes the other way around, I will be so happy. But let's see how this game goes. But for me, I'm predicting Argentina to go through into the semifinals of this World Cup. So these are my predictions of the round of the quarterfinals of the World Cup 2026. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, please. And if you've watched up until this moment, thank you for being here and supporting. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get most of our videos once we drop them. Thank you, and see you on the next one.